What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys can help us get there. Alright, so as many of y'all know, here on Rants we cover a lot of DC. We cover some Marvel, but we mostly focus on like DC series because, Marvel doesn't have a lot in that category as of right now. Now that'll be changing in 2021. But as for right now, we mostly, when it comes to that series, we've stuck to like the Arrowverse. Both Lance and I are huge Arrowverse fans. We like different shows on it more than others. But overall, we enjoy most of the content that is on Arrowverse. But this article brings up a really important point, and it's a point that actually Lance and I have discussed here on Rants about how the Arrowverse is changing, and it's not for the better. According to this article, and just got to read the very front part of it. There's more to the superheroes of the Arrowverse than fighting villains and saving the world. Their personal lives and jobs shape who they are too. Okay, now what this mainly is recalling is back in the day when the Arrowverse first began, we got to see kind of like half and half. We would see superheroes in their suits, fighting crime, doing all that stuff, but we also got to see the characters' personal lives, what makes them who they are, what makes them tick as a human being, what makes them great superheroes, those that they care about the most in their lives outside of their work as a superhero. But somewhere along the lines, that completely got done away with. I started noticing it really bad on The Flash. I don't know, it was after season 3. It just seemed like everything revolved around some villain of some kind. They were only usually shown in their suits or getting ready to get into their suits to go fight crime. There was always that in the background. The characters that were a part of that life took a really main character turn instead of just being people that show up when, like the Flash's team, Team Flash or Team Arrow or all those things. They used to be characters that we would see, off and on throughout the episode. But then they became like, I think it was like season 3 of The Flash is when I started noticing it, where it started making, they started playing more of a focal point. And those that were in the characters' private lives started having to go and be a part of Team Flash or Team Arrow if they were going to get any screen time. I thought this was kind of made a lot of stuff lacking, to say a better word. It's where these shows started really going down is when you started seeing the lack of humanity in these characters. You can always believe, I guess you can turn off the believability factor when you're watching superhero shows. Most of us actually do. We don't think, oh, well, this could never really happen, or any of those things, or this is preposterous that someone in tights is running around, saving people. We don't think of those things. But mainly why we don't think of those things is because we focus on the character as a whole. The characters that are, their private lives and, their, what's going on with their work lives. And we get that sense of believability from that. And it just kind of carries over into the rest of it, their superhero lives. And I think that's, for most fans, that's kind of how it works. But unfortunately, the Arrowverse has just completely and totally forgot about that. they're like, hey, let's just cut to the chase. Let's get right to the point. Let's just everything's going to revolve around them being superheroes. The wonderful thing that makes a great superhero for any, doesn't matter if it's Marvel, DC, or whoever, or if it's just a show on television, what makes a great superhero is the fact that we get to know everything about that character and we start to care about that character. Not just his superhero or her superhero persona, but that we care about the character in general. You know, and so it kind of makes these Arrowverse shows a little bit, I don't know, baseless a little bit when, we see, The Flash, or back in the day when Arrow was still on, or Legends of Tomorrow, when we always see them in that form of, or Supergirl, see them in that form of, just being a superhero. We don't see the humanity in them. We just see them as a expendable superhero. You might like them, but you can't tell me that you get that emotional affection for those characters when they're not showing who they are outside of their superhero persona. I just feel like I felt like that is something that has been lacking in the Arrowverse for a long time. I think CW, when the Arrowverse first come out and they were going to make this into a huge big thing, I think it was all for like the right reason. They were going to bring these characters alive. Of course, they were wanting to get ratings, and they were going to try everything that they could to get ratings. But somewhere along the lines, they stopped just trying to make, let's say, the Arrow, the Flash, Black Lightning, any Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, all of those other little things. They just stopped making the characters for that particular show, and they started these crossover shows. And with the problem with these crossover shows is it starts taking away, that whole, like I was saying, that believability factor, and it just starts making it where, okay, now we've got 10 superheroes in one, I don't know, episode, and the believability factor, just drops to a new level. You start realizing that they are marketing these superheroes and marketing these other shows, or setting up stuff for all these shows as a whole, instead of focusing on that main character or that main villain or something along those lines. That they started somewhere along the lines, the marketing started getting poor, where that they weren't hiding it anymore, that they were trying to market something. They were outwardly using each episode as a marketing tool. And the best way to market stuff is to just cut right down to the chase of like, hey, you don't necessarily sell toys for Barry Allen. You sell toys for the Flash. So I mean, it just all comes back to consumerism. It comes back to, how do we get the most out of each episode to sell products, or to sell the Flash or the Arrow or any of these characters that we've come to know. And it became less about actually making them characters that we care about and that we love. I just feel like that is sad. I feel like that's one of the reasons why the Arrowverse is on its last legs. I don't believe the Arrowverse will be here in 5 years for a number of different reasons. One, DC's wanting HBO Max, so all their content's going to be going to HBO Max. It's going to go completely and totally away from CW. We might have some shows, some lasting shows, but, that might last for another season or two, but it's not going to last long. We'll never see the Arrowverse is basically going to die. At least the Arrowverse that we know. I cannot imagine DC allowing the CW to keep that many DC shows on there. when they're wanting all their content to go to HBO Max. Like, I just don't see that personally happening. But I wanted to make this video because the Arrowverse actually does mean something to me. I care about a lot of characters on there. I'm going to miss it when it's gone, and I mean that in the most heartfelt of ways. I am going to miss a lot of these characters. Can't say that a lot of people are excited about, HBO Max and the new shows on there, the Peacemaker series that's supposedly going to be on there, and a few of these other series that are going to be on there. They're going to be really adult centered around things, but I guess as for me, I look at it, I always kind of look at it from a parent standpoint. When it comes to the CW, that's a show that maybe in about 4 or 5 years I could have got my kid involved in, where anything that's on HBO Max, it's going to be pretty adult oriented. I just feel like with CW, they're able to get a larger audience. They're able to speak to a younger crowd, to get more fans to grow up with it, instead of just doing what they're going to do on HBO Max and just get the ones that they already have. But as far as the Arrowverse, I do believe that the Arrowverse kind of forgot its way, and I feel like it suffered because of it. I think the Batwoman series is the quintessential. I don't know. It's the how do I put it? It's like the poster child for everything wrong with the Arrowverse. Remember when they made the Batwoman for season 1? They made the promo for it, that little trailer, and where you have Ruby Rose saying, this suit will be perfect when it's made for a woman. That's the kind of cringeworthy stuff that the Arrowverse now kind of puts out there. They worry more about identity politics than they actually do story, and that never works in anybody's favor. It don't work for the audience. It don't work for the studios. But yet that is something that a lot of these places, that's the hill that a lot of these companies or studios will die on, is this wokeness. Because at the end of the day, they go to all the Hollywood parties, and that is, they like the pats on the back from that. And as far as marketing is concerned, money is concerned, you want your superhero to be in his suit for most of it. So, most of the series, so you can sell products and things along those lines. So, I get both those aspects to a certain extent, but it don't mean that that's a winning formula. But as always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Y'all take care.